Good evening. This hangout is live. Welcome to Omnibroslive. I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault, here with another fabulous edition of Omnibroslive. With me tonight, my co-hosts from Ryley Mo, the Omnibus collector himself, Ryley Mo. That's what I meant to say. Ryley Mo, how's it going?
It's going. It's definitely going.
From Gabe Infinity Watch, we have Gabe the Babe. What's up, dude?
Yo, what up, man? We're in a rush today. This is cool because apparently we're on a time schedule.
We are. We're in a tight schedule, tight time frame.
Yeah, man. Us old folks have to take our medicine at a certain time.
That's right, you young punks.
We already had our supper at 3 p.m.
That was from Near Mint Condition Omar. What's up, Omar?
Not a lot. Never get tired of you saying my name like that. Love it. Love it. If I were a wrestler, that's the way you should introduce me.
And here's Omar.
There it is.
I feel like it's more like when the players on the basketball team are running out there, like Hakeem, the Dream, Olajuwon, and you got song playing in the background, like everyone's theme song.
Oh,
Y'all ready for
Omar,
this?
what would be your intro music?
Locke's theme from Final Fantasy VI. As you can tell, I've thought about this for years.
I have no idea what that is.
I have been waiting for someone to ask me this entire time.
Oh god, that's a good question. We should all have our answers later.
How do you guys not sit on the shitter and think about these things?
Mine would be Kashmir from Led Zeppelin.
That's a good one.
Wow. How long is that song? Mine is like quick.
Well, you
I would
just do
do
a certain part of it.
I would do Notorious Thugs by Bone Thugs and Harmony and Notorious B.I.G.
That's a good one.
I'm probably the only person who knows what that is here.
I would do
Crusty ass people.
the trumpet part from Conquest by the White Stripes.
Okay. Wow. So, what kind of theme song would In Stock Trades have? Do we have a jingle, Jess?
We don't have a jingle yet. I still have my best man working on that. But InStockTrades.com is where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. They're in the midst of a big damage sale where they're selling so-called damaged books. Sometimes you can get pretty lucky on those books and the damages are minuscule. But hey, I'm not vouching for every book they sell. If it's damaged, it's damaged. But they're up to like 70% now off or something crazy like that. If you order $50 or more.
I was saying people are posting their hauls, those damage hauls, and they're all just immaculate looking books. It's like styrofoam or the cellophane is ripped here, or the dust jacket isn't quite lined up correctly, like nonsensical bullshit. So people are making out like bandits on these deals, dude.
I got a $50 book for like $15 already from the sale, and it was just the top on the top back cover or something had a little bit of a rip, and that was it. And I don't mind that at all. It looks great on the shelf.
I bought some absolutes, like the Death Absolute, and the outer box had like scuff marks on it, like the cardboard box it comes in. The inside was brand new. I don't know. Yeah, but that was on damage. It was nice. Man, but it's funny because I posted a video yesterday, and they were like, "Oh my God, you're the asshole that bought the Absolute Death." I'm like, maybe there were a couple on there.
People had those in their cart ready to pull the trigger.
Runaways was the same way. That's why I bought that. That was like $30-something. Otherwise, I would have kept my hardcovers. You all know that.
And over $50 in the United States gets you free shipping, fabulous service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. That's the only part of it that's a jingle. I still have the words to that written down, and I've got Nate writing music to it. He may have forgotten because he's busy leading his life.
Whatever. Busy, too busy to work with us. We're
like the rest of us losers.
We got Jim Mint in the chat too.
What's up, Jim Mint? And Psycho
going,
Cleveland got Life and Death of Pharaoh Lad for $12. The greatest Silver Age story ever. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
I have a Galactus trilogy that might say otherwise. there, Jess. But yeah.
Okay, the greatest DC Silver Age story.
Was the Galactus trilogy? That wasn't Silver Age.
Pretty
Yeah, it
sure it was.
Yeah,
What-
Silver Age.
Which trilogy?
Or the Millennials rewriting
I'm
history.
The Galactus
This
trilogy.
one.
Don't drop that on your damn keyboard, Jess.
I'm keeping it way far away.
Oh, there's no soda around or pizza.
I'm back here. Oh, it's crushing me.
No, when Gabe talks, I didn't hear Galactus. I heard Thanos. So I was like, Thanos trilogy and Silver Age. That doesn't make sense. And then
That might be a different story.
That might have been cool. But just to give you guys a heads up, I'm pulling on Ryley because we got to talk about this book today. I got a fresh bottle of Jack Daniels going on today.
That's not even real bourbon. And you make fun of me for drinking it with cranberry.
Shots fired, as they say.
It's whiskey, not bourbon. Those are two different things, Omar.
Yes,
you should
I
know
know.
that.
I do know that. That's why your ass is weak drinking whiskey. Anyway, what were we saying? Guardians of the Galaxy. How great it was. Right?
What kind of ice water you got today? Cubed or crushed ice?
I need to slow my drinking down, man.
ooh, Dasani. That's
I
a
need it.
good choice.
Yeah, that's pretty
thank
hardcore, man. I'm sorry. I default to your expertise right now.
There's Trigonosis complaining about he needs a shout out. Trigonosis is the one that alerted me to the fact that I actually topped 2,000 on my subscriber list. Thank you, Gabriel Alcia, for letting me know that I had 2,000 subscribers.
I thought that was Gio that did that.
And now Gabriel PM'd me earlier.
Gio congratulated though in the
He was
chat.
the first one to congratulate me. Yeah. But
Yeah,
Gabriel
Gio let the
me
rest
know.
of us know. Gio's
Yeah.
on the code all of us. So yeah.
And then
Right.
Gio was the first one to congratulate you, and I was the first one to decongratulate you.
I was the first one to unsubscribe from you.
Not today, Jess.
Yeah. Now I'm
And it
one below
subscribed right back
2,000.
to you, so you got 2K again. That's how it works. Speaking of 2K, this is anybody's first visit here. We are, God, like less than 30, I want to say, subscribers away from our 2K. So this is your first time. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. Tell your moms.
Oh, I'm sure
We're
their
gonna do
moms
it.
are already watching.
Yeah, they are.
We've got that. We've got that covered.
We're all about the moms here. We got that mom market cornered. And by mom market corner, I mean all your moms are hookers.
There it is.
Whoa.
I really hope Emily's mom is not in the chat.
I hope she isn't either.
Oh, that's right. She shows up sometime. Yeah, well, never mind. Sometimes my parents, my wife's parents watch too. So
We'll blame it on your weak ass whiskey that you're drinking.
oh, it's probably just as strong as your water, huh?
Probably. All right, who wants to lead this conversation? Who wants to go first?
We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy by Jerry Duggan
Let me go grab this thing off
Omnibus,
this shelf.
which is very thin, but was a lot of fun. This is not my review. I'm just showing you the book. And I will, while people are talking, I will show panels of it. That'll be my purpose. Since my reviews suck, I usually just go, I liked it. It was good. I don't talk about thematic deconstruction or anything. I don't know that kind of vocab. What am I even talking about? Okay, who wants to start?
I'm the leader on this one, I think.
That's right. You got to get going first.
I'll be hanging out in here, but I'm gonna be like silenced and stuff. And then if we start doing a roundtable type discussion, I'll jump in for a minute. But yeah, I'll go into it. My wife's playing Red Dead next to me. She's finally back after being gone for the weekend, so spend a little time together tonight finally. Anyway, so yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Omnibus by Jerry Duggan with a whole host of artists in here, mainly Aaron Cooter. I was reading this as it came out in single issues, and so that means that I was reading this as Bendis's was coming to its close, and this began right afterwards. So it was a very big transition from going to something as divisive as Bendis's is, and then something as apparently divisive as this one is, according to Gabe. But I felt like going into this one, it was a real return to form after Bendis's, and it's not something where it was immediately just like boom, issue 1, all of a sudden we're back to having the classic Guardians. Like Jerry Duggan does a good job to kind of ease us into taking these characters as they've been written in Bendis's run and kind of still utilizing the team that's popularized in the movies and still putting some of the like attributes that they have from the movies, like making Groot small, having Quill, as Gabe mentioned in yesterday's show, listen to music on his Walkman. They bring the Milano in there, so it kind of has that synergy. But it goes into that, I think, to do a good job of bringing in the audience, and then it kind of starts slipping away from Bendis's run pretty quickly, and that's something that I really liked because it started to go more towards being this broader cosmic story. And that, if y'all remembered, in Bendis's run, not only was there Guardians, but there was a huge number of like spin-offs: Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax. Everyone had their own titles: Rocket, Groot, and then of course there was a Nova series, and there were other Guardians titles. Guardians Team Up for a little bit, Guardians 3000, Guardians Infinity, Guardians 1000, Guardian. I don't even know all of them. There was so many series, and each of them had a little aspect of Cosmic Marvel in them. So if you're a fan of Cosmic Marvel, you could find those aspects here and there. But I feel like when Duggan took over the Guardians, he really started bringing those all together, and it's really noticeable from the onset of his run. He pulls in the Guardians. He's got the Nova Corps in there. He's got, and he worked on Nova prior to this, so he's using stuff from that. He's got the Grandmaster, the Collector, all of these cosmic characters being entwined in here, and then pretty soon, into the series, I think issue 3, you can get an issue that is completely focused on Gamora, and a little bit of spoiler for early in the series, being in the Soul Gem, and her time in there from back in comics a couple decades ago. So it's clear in the series that he's trying to give us material that is harkening back to the older stuff and kind of bringing us back to that before he really knows what his intent is. And that is mostly setting the pieces in place, putting the Guardians back to where they, for most people, they should be, so to say. That's opinions, of course. And then pushing them into these events that he had planned as part of his whole Guardians run. It's a lot of fun, and I think that he does a great job of maintaining like the easiness of entry into reading this book, as it was with like a lot of Bendis books, where it's very easy to get sucked in and just keep reading. It's easy to churn out 5 issues in an hour. How fun it can be. He does a great job of introducing us in a way to these characters. So if you are a new writer or a new reader on here, I feel like it's easy to jump into. So it was a lot of fun. I know that some of the artwork, Aaron Kuder, is a little bit divisive, but I think he does a fantastic job. But there are other artists as well. Early on, Fraser Irving. Later on, just to go through, Chris Samney, Greg Smallwood, who did work on Moon Knight, Marcus Toe, Mike Hawthorne, Roland Boschi, Rod Reese. These are some of the artists that you see in here. So there's a good selection of artists in there, but the main one is Aaron Kuder. He's a little bit divisive. Some of those other ones are a little more praised, usually. So it's not something that some people will be like, oh, those faces look kind of weird, because I know Aaron Kuder's artwork gets that kind of reaction sometimes. So to me, it was enjoyable and very nice to look at, and it provided a really fun and interesting storyline that, like I had mentioned, brings together the cosmic books and the cosmic characters to where it's very rewarding if you're familiar with who all of them are and what all of these teams and ideas and concepts are. But it's not something that is unaccessible, I think, to someone that's newly reading this stuff. So that's a lot of what I thought about it. I think it's a very positive and fun run. I was a big fan of it. As it was coming out. I am a big fan of Jerry Duggan as a writer. I haven't been outright disappointed in anything he's written, so I figured that I would feel this way. I think the big detractor from this omnibus is the fact that it is pretty short. It's only 18-ish, 17, something like that, chapters long, while maintaining a $75 price point, which a lot of people state is because of the fact that it is labeled as an omnibus. If it wasn't an omnibus, it was just an OHC, they might have taken that off and made it like a $50 book. $50 is probably the price point it should have been at, honestly. But given that it is a lead-in to the major event happening thereafter, I feel like Marvel knew that they would have gotten some people to buy it, and with the popularity of the Guardians and all that. So that's to me the biggest detractor. The second biggest detractor is, like I've mentioned, that it does lead into the events, Infinity Countdown and then Infinity Wars. So you're buying something that might be a fun book, but it's not a complete story. You're left at the end with a cliffhanger. And it's one that, for me personally, I was like, man, this is really intriguing and really great. I can't wait for what comes after. And I have been enjoying reading it as has been going on, but I can understand someone who has not read this spending that money on it, even if it's at a deep discount, and being disappointed that by the last page you're told to go pick something else up. Overall, I would say positive package for me with some detractors. I recommend it if you can get it for a good discount, and if you already know that you're a fan of these characters and if you're a fan of that writer.
Wow. I don't think you left anything for me to say. I like the book. It's got words.
And pretty pictures.
Seriously, you did a really good job. Let me go next because I know how Gabe feels, or what Gabe thinks about this book. I will add that, to me, I hated the idea of having these, or what seemed to be a forced group of characters that are just mimicking the way they look and act in the movie based on the cover, right? That's what I was like, I don't want Baby Groot. Come on. Can't Marvel just tell a damn story without having to cave into all these movie events? So I did not like the Bendis run. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, shocker, right? But this, to me, I'm kind of 50-50 on. I loved a lot of aspects of this, much of what you said. And there were some things that I wish were a little bit different. Part of the whole DNA run, and I hate comparing it because I know it's not the same. This feels like you have this oncoming threat the entire time with the Raptors and the Nova Corps. Something big's happening. But you never see how big it is because you focus on the 5 characters, right? You focus on these 5 characters, and then later on, fucking Ant-Man. But anyway.
God damn it.
So it doesn't seem like the threat is that big. It seems like, oh, okay, it's just still focusing on just Guardians of the Galaxy. Whereas what DNA did was build it from literally the inside out. They spread it out into all these other series that were like, at the end of their run, I think there were like 15 characters that made up the Guardians of the Galaxy. And every other issue a different team would kind of be focused on. With this, you had like a solo issue here and there, which I appreciated instead of them doing miniseries. But it's kind of things that we really didn't need. I did appreciate that they kind of went back to the DNA stuff and tied a lot of things in there that Bendis, for some reason, didn't touch, mainly probably because he didn't read the books. But I appreciated the things that, especially when Rich and Star-Lord are reunited. I thought that was really cool. They finally talked about what happened and, where Gamora is and things like that. I like the whole mystery about, him bringing back his brother. I thought that was really cool from the DNA run. Nova's brother, Rich Rider's brother. So there were things, like I said, 50-50 on. I don't think it was perfect. I think it was miles ahead of what Bendis did. But I wish that I actually, you know what? If it wasn't for the movies, I'm thinking that this could have been a better book. If we did not have Guardians of the Galaxy movies, this could have been a much better book.
Just because they didn't force any of that synergy in there?
Well, yeah, and then just the characters that they would use, the collector and things like that. I'm like, what?
Right.
This doesn't make any sense. Come on. Or even the what, this Earth book, the one that takes place on Earth, the characters that show up. You got Deadpool, Cable, Doctor Strange. Come on, really?
They show up to the X-Men mansion for like no reason.
Yeah,
why is Drax talking to Cable? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Like they may have met like in passing in Infinity War, but yeah, and I feel like a lot of that is pushed on the writer. They're like, no, you have to use these characters because there's going to be a Deadpool movie and Cable's going to be in it, or there's going to be a Doctor Strange movie.
Like some editorial mandate for that synergy.
Yeah, so
you feel that a lot in this storyline. Is like he's been told what to do.
But to me, the art was amazing.
Coming off of Bendis's stuff, though, seemed like he was taking it a lot further with that stuff, like because his stuff wouldn't go nowhere because of a lot of what seemed like editorial mandate. Whereas this seemed more like, to me, that Jerry Duggan had an idea of the story he wanted to tell, and then he's told things to put in there. Because I know that he originally the events that spin out of this were meant to just be more Guardians, because he had talked about his run and stuff and how far it was going, and then he came out and they were like, yeah, 150 or whatever is the final issue, but it's leading into what is more Guardians. So it was kind of Marvel turning his story into something bigger than he intended.
Yeah, and I've read a lot of that stuff, a lot of the countdown and things, and it feels like that's kind of what they did with Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest, where you have all these little miniseries leading into one big event. But for some reason, I don't think Marvel is even treating it like a big event. I mean, Annihilation wasn't treated like a huge event either. They didn't advertise the hell out of it. They weren't expecting it to sell. And it
none of the cosmic stuff is treated like a big event.
Well, no, but by the time we got to War of the Kings, they were like, no, we're going to put the X-Men in here. It's going to be a giant crossover. So by then they knew that these things were selling. But Infinity, I don't know. I'm hoping we get a second omnibus that collects all that stuff. That's what I'm hoping for, because you're right. Yeah. The story isn't finished, but I agree with you. I think I enjoyed a lot of the art. I wasn't the biggest fan of Aaron Cooter, but I thought his stuff in here was awesome. I like his little details. It's kind of anime-ish, but it's got some, sketchy stuff. I like that.
I really like the issue. I think it's 2, 3, or 4, something like that, where they go to the collector, and it's like the giant collector.
Yeah,
that looked really nice.
I really, really like Marcus Toe. He was the guy that did some of the Ultimate Spider-Man, the Miles Morales stuff. So I recognize his stuff, and I really dig it. So yeah, I'm kind of with you. I didn't love it as much as you did, but it's accessible to new readers, that's for sure. Like I think it's more so than probably Bendis' stuff. I
think the 4 people who watched the movie and decided to read comic books afterwards is really happy with this. Because that's nobody do. No, I don't want to get into that. Right,
no, I get with you.
That there is a very small percentage of people who go see these movies who don't read comics and then start reading comics. If that was a true indication, that was something that happened where people who went to go see the Guardians films or Infinity War went to go buy comics, comic book stores would be the most liquid, expensive, just everybody would be rich. There would be no issues with sales numbers or anything like that. But obviously that is not the case. We all know that. So that's what's bothering me a lot with this book is how much I hate to use the word pandering, but how much they just really focused and changed not just the Guardians of the Galaxy, but a lot of Marvel Cosmic in general to focus on and align up with what's going on with the movies. All right. So not only is it all, I know this is in the Bendis run as well with Star-Lord and the Walkman, that all really got kind of shoehorned into there. But with this book, the music playing and the music references were agitating and annoying. Like, I don't know the lyrics to these songs that they were singing, so I had to keep looking them up. Like, oh, hey, here you go. Drax is singing a Bruce Springsteen song. That's interesting. And he's playing the saxophone. And now he likes music too. So it's those little callbacks. Groot being a baby Groot, that's kind of cool. I like that. At first, I was like, come on, baby Groot. That's a movie thing. Why is that being transitioned and changed into here? But it provided a really good B or C storyline. The whole thing with the gardener and how, you know, the little like pieces of baby Groot that were lying around that he was using to make other Groots, and that's why baby Groot can't grow up. That stuff is interesting. There was a lot of interesting stuff in here. A lot of stuff that Ryley said, and like the basic Cliff Notes Wikipedia entry for this book sounds amazing. It's the return of the Nova Corps, Darkhawk, not Darkhawk himself, but like the Talons show back up. It's the Guardians going after all the Eternals were returning, like you said. The Collector shows up, the Gardener shows up, the Grandmaster shows up. That's all really cool. It leads up into the current Infinity War storyline. That kind of just like bullet notes and Wikipedia Cliff Notes entries of this book sounds great, but the actual like process of reading this book is absolutely terrible. I love the art. Aaron Cooter's art, I think, is really, really good. You guys seem to be kind of lukewarm on it. I like him a lot. I think this is the first time I really ran into his work, but he seems to be a very unpolished up-and-comer who is getting into that hyper-realistic detail that you get with like a Jeff Darrow, an Art Adams, a Nick Bradshaw, with a little bit of a cartoony feel mixed into it. So that's a really great part of this book. I loved his art. I love the issues that had his art in it for the art. But when I was talking about just the process of reading this book is frustrating, is there's a lot of times in this book that something would happen. Like we see here, they are all gathered with the Collector. And the Collector is talking to him. He's this big, super huge version of him in this kind of psychedelic realm. And that is the last page of this story in this issue. Because then it turns into the evil baby Groots. So you get that for a couple of pages. So that kind of throws you off, or actually you get that for 2 pages. So yeah, a couple of pages of the storyline of the evil baby Groots. Then you get into that Gamora story, that Gamora single issue. And that goes on and on and on. I had no idea that was old lady Gamora in the Soul Stone. They didn't do a really good job of explaining that. So there's a whole entire issue that you have to read through to get back to the Collector storyline. And like I showed you, he was a big, huge entity who had them on his fingertip. And then all of a sudden, when you get to the next actual issue of the storyline, they were all just kind of hanging out in the Collector's collection for no reason. Like nothing was solved or nothing really led you to this moment. It just kind of happened. And that happens a lot in this storyline, a lot. One of my favorite issues in this book and the favorite parts of my story is really the Nova Corps stuff. Everything else I didn't really care too much about, but when you got to the Nova Corps and the Talons, that stuff was great. So when you got to the issue before the Earthbound issue that you were talking about earlier, Omar, you get this great one-issue story about Rich Writers.
Let's face it, though. You like the Talons because you love Darkhawk. I mean, let's just call it.
I think they're badass. I mean, yeah, I like the Talons because it's Darkhawk. I like it because Rich Writer's brother's got like a fur coat, like pimp jacket on as a Talon. But you get this, you get that Talon storyline, that one single issue, and then you go back to, and then you're on Earth. So the issue before that Talon issue is just the Guardians of the Galaxy hanging out, cracking stupid ass jokes, and then all of a sudden they're on Earth. There was no doorway, there was no setup, there was nothing that indicated they were going to go to Earth. They just kind of hung around. Issue ended. You get this Nova Talon issue, and then the next issue they're on Earth for no reason. And Drax is like pouring his heart out to Cable, and then you get the shoehorned must-have Deadpool in there. You get the shoehorned Doctor Strange in there. You get Ant-Man in there. Ant-Man becomes a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
For like
weird.
All they have him do is the entire time he's fighting anybody is he shrinks small and then he expands himself and he blows something up, or he uses his giant mass to plug a door or to break open another door or to break open an evil Groot or to destroy a ship. He is very one note in this book. I like how they make fun of him and they call him the least popular Avenger and stuff like that. But it was just, he had no reason to be in there. They did this whole scene when he joins the Guardians, where he goes, I don't know if he walks outside the ship or if it's him outside walking into the ship, because it's very hard to tell. But he brings a pack of ants with him, and then nothing happens to those ants. Like, he doesn't use those ants as any kind of minions or to help fight anything or to crawl around into like computer systems or anything. So there's a lot of lost like storylines in here, a lot of just dropped beats that pick up issues later that don't make any sense. The one issue character issues were boring. Oh god, they were the worst. I started skipping them after a while because they held nothing to do with the storyline other than the Groot and Rocket issue, because that actually kind of gave you a point of where the story began and where their story began and how they kind of met back up with the Guardians. But for the most part, if anybody has this, you could just skip those like character one-shot issues because they're boring and they add nothing to the storyline whatsoever. The humor and the jokes in here is very like sophomoric and silly. Like, you have Rocket gets poisoned by a Talon, and then he's laying in the infirmary saying, "Oh, I always wanted to die in bed, but not like this." Like, that's just fucking dumb. Like, that's, like I said earlier, this book is dumb. I don't mean dumb as in I think the book is like, you know, for somebody of low IQ, but I just think they really kind of soft blow all, like, it was already like softball. Like, all the jokes were just kind of just tossed to you and they were knocked out of the park because they were underhanded in softball too. They really just kind of talked down to the audience in this book. I felt this was just, the jokes were lame. The storyline was very all over the place. I didn't care anything about the Guardian story. They were talking about this egg, and then all of a sudden they're chasing after Infinity Stones, and then they just randomly find an Infinity Stone in like some Nova storage unit. Drax is like completely like, I'm not going to kill anybody. I'm super pacifist now, but they keep dragging him along for like no reason. Like, it was just little things like that. Just really kind of irked the process of the storyline. I'm sorry.
Did you read the Bendis Guardians?
Very little. I think I maybe read like the first arc.
Okay. Did anybody read the entire Bendis arc? Ryley, did you?
Yes. Sorry,
Okay.
I was muted. I did read the whole thing.
Did this follow any of that stuff?
They do make.
Because I never finished it.
I'm sorry. What was the question before that?
Did anything carry over from Bendis's run?
They do make mention of stuff, like Rocket mentions some of the stuff, not from Bendis's book, but he actually mentioned stuff from his own miniseries. And they mention like their time grounded on Earth. They because the last like 10 issues of Bendis's run was them coming back from space. There's also reference back to, more so to Bendis's run. I feel like there's more references towards other work that Duggan has done for the Marvel Universe. There's reference to Secret Wars in there. Drax's saxophone was in Secret Wars, but Drax had a saxophone back in the 90s. So that was kind of following up on that. And then they brought it back in Secret Wars where he like played in a jazz club, and then they brought it back from there again. I think Drax's change of heart came from before this book. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like I remember reading where he starts that, or no, there might be something in this book that explained it in one of the like character-centric issues.
Oh, you mean the boring ones I just skipped over?
Yeah, you maybe not should have done that. But also going back to it after being caught up right now with everything in the Marvel Universe, i.e., being caught up with the Infinity Wars crossover, there's a lot of stuff from the page one, not literally page one, but from the first issue that was leading up to it. Especially like, you can see stuff with the egg and stuff with Gamora, specifically Gamora's issue. That issue with the Fraser Irving artwork was leading up a lot towards what Duggan is doing now and what he was doing in Infinity Countdown.
See, maybe that's a problem with this book. Then that's what it feels like with this book. It's a very much a step one of like a 12-step process, basically.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff in here. Like they talk about the Nova Corps losing Thanos. I was like, when did that happen? That must have happened way later on, or something like that. I think that's what's hurting the story. Well, all the stuff that they should have included. They should have included so much more stuff in here to kind of make this make sense.
Okay, I'll tell you what would solve that though is those editorial footnotes from the 80s, 70s, 90s,
and the 90s, and yeah.
That would solve that problem. But I don't know. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought they did a good job, and it made me want to keep reading more. Like I was just 50-50 on some of the things that Duggan was forced to do.
And there's just so much, like I was saying, like all the stuff with the movies that are changing the comics is, for me, I'm gonna sound like that old cranky guy, is just changing what I loved about these characters, and everything that is affecting the comics is coming from the movies, when it should almost be the other way around. Now all the Infinity Gems are different colors and have different powers, and they have like different limitations and things like that are really just changing everything up, and is showing off a lot in this book as well.
I mean, look at Greg Rucka's run with Derek Robertson. I mean, Derek Robertson was told to change the way Wolverine looks to make him look like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, they've been doing it forever. I know that for sure.
He was like, no, I don't want to. I wanted to draw Wolverine as this short little hairy dude.
But none of that affected like continuity or affected like
cornerstones,
like storylines.
Sucks, but they're a lot bigger now. I think
that's what it is. I get it. I get they're trying to do that, but it's not. It's if this was actually bringing people into comics, I'd be sure, let's do it. I'm all for new blood into the comic books industry, but it obviously isn't. So I don't. They're just giving us who are fans of this stuff a completely different outlook on these old stories and these well-established elements of the Marvel universe.
Okay. All right, Jess. How do you feel?
I feel like to enjoy this book, I enjoyed this book a lot more after I read Infinity Countdown. It fleshed out a lot of this storyline. This is the follow-on book, and it helped me understand more in this book. But I agree with what Gabe's saying. I agree with all of you, actually. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was funny. I enjoyed all the jokes, and I enjoyed the individual issues. I found them to be enjoyable, but it did suffer from what Gabe was saying, from my not understanding, like when Thanos escaped and when was that from, and are they in Doctor Doom's Secret Wars world, or what's going on here? What reality has been altered, and when did Baby Groot become Baby Groot, and so there was a bunch of unexplained stuff in here that was a little bit more than I think a new reader would appreciate. I don't think a new reader can just jump into this book and understand it, because there is a lot of stuff that I feel that I should have known or should have been included in this book to make me enjoy it, as Gabe was saying. And I agree that the appearance of Ant-Man was weird and felt forced, and the Doctor Strange Deadpool things were just very odd. But I loved when they joined the Nova Corps, and Rocket was put in charge of the station base. I just thought that was hilarious that when Rocket was put in charge of all the criminals and that were behind bars, and it takes a thief to know a thief, and that was my favorite part of the whole thing, was Rocket.
Yeah. Later on in the series, after like the 10th issue or so, I started enjoying it, and it's probably because of that Nova stuff. But
Yeah.
did you have a problem, or anybody else, figuring out who these like side characters were, like the criminals on Nova Corps? Because once they joined the Nova Corps, every single person, including the Guardians of the Galaxy and every one of these like thieves and these other characters that they were interacting with, and you needed to kind of follow because some of them were spies and assassins and stuff like that. I had a hard time figuring out who was who and keeping up with it because they all kept that damn helmet on, so they all looked exactly the same to me.
Yeah, I get that criticism.
It was like, okay, that's that purple guy, that's that guy with the weird like tentacles for a face, and that's the only way I was able to kind of tell these guys apart.
I was happy to see Cosmo back.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was fun to see Cosmo.
My boy, I love Cosmo. So,
Like when that word bubble came up and it was him talking, I was like, I'm having a problem understanding the speech. And then, oh, it's Cosmo. He speaks like an old Russian. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime they bring him back, I'm happy. Go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry.
And no, it's all right. And I was happy to see. I was happy to see it because I understood it. The Nova Corps continuation of the family from the Nova Corps Secret Wars book. She's pregnant in this book, but she's part of Secret Wars battle zones, war zones.
Is that who that woman was? I had no idea who she was.
Yeah, that was one of the few things I recognized. Was from Infinity Gauntlet. She's in that. Her family's in that.
This omnibus is like part 3 of like a storyline. It felt like, and like obviously we're in the middle of a storyline. It feels like, and that must be why I don't like it. I don't know what's going on, where these people are coming from. I don't know who this pregnant woman is.
Where did she appear?
Sorry?
Where did she appear?
I believe she is in Infinity Gauntlet.
Secret War?
Yeah, she's in Infinity Gauntlet War Zones.
And Duggan wrote that, right?
No, Dustin Weaver? No, but
Weaver's the artist.
Okay, so...
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. He's the artist and part writer with Jerry Duggan.
Okay. Gabe, you have that book in the box set, the Infinity Gauntlet box set.
Which book?
Yeah,
the Warzones one.
You should know all these.
Sorry, I haven't read that entire box set yet.
No, I'm just telling you that you've got it if you wanted to.
I'm telling you should have read it. Like, you've had it for a year. This is ridiculous. You haven't done your homework. It's your fault.
So you got to be like Jess. Jess, he'll read something and then he'll be like, wait, what do I do after House of M, guys? And then we sit there and throw books at him so he can go spend money.
And he forgets.
That's exactly what happened in the chat.
He forgets. He's like, oh, shit, I already had that.
Yeah. And then I go and ask him, like, Jess, didn't you buy this? Yeah, I did.
And then you see him selling it on the group.
That sounds completely right.
No, but see, I remember reading a little bit of that Infinity Gauntlet Secret War story with the female like family and their and but I didn't know that was them. Like, to me, I always felt like those side stories from Secret War was just fun Secret War storylines that were never brought back again. But apparently, I was wrong. And apparently,
some of them
they pop into these major storylines of these major omnibuses.
Yeah, they have like, because when everything came back together, it was like ripples from each individual part of Battle World maintained itself in the new Marvel universe, the not quite 616 but mostly 616 Marvel universe.
616 is supposed to be the only Marvel universe, but yet there's still like Spider-Gwen in her own universe.
Yeah,
and weird things like that.
That has bothered me because they went out and made a huge deal about how the incursions happened and all of the worlds collided, and now there's one Earth, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden they're like, except for Spider-Gwen's world, except for this world, except for all of the worlds that the Exiles visit in Saladin Ahmed's Exiles run.
They got rid of the fucking Ultimate Universe, but yet they keep these other little small universes around.
You guys sound like every comic book fan at a comic book store in 86 and 87 when they were like, I thought Crisis on Infinite Earths was supposed to make it just one Earth. It's exactly the same argument we've been having for the last, I don't know, how long ago was that, Jess? 30
years.
Some years. It's crazy. Yeah, they tell you they're going to change something, and nothing will ever be the same. And guess what? Everything is always going to be the same. You're still going to buy the same shitty books.
Stop bringing logic into this, Omar.
I'm
God
sorry,
damn it.
somebody had to.
So that's our opinion on the book. I think it's better to read it if you read this right on its heels. Gabe, not happy with it. Omar, lukewarm. Ryley, sounds like 2 thumbs up.
I think it's a better portrayal of the Guardians than Bendis did. So if you like that, you should at least try this.
I think Omar should fix his camera.
Yeah, you're barely on your camera there, dude. There you go. Well, no, not really.
No, actually, you know what? Move it away from your face. I think that was better.
the colossal titan.
We saw that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't supposed to be seen. Sorry.
Okay, so do we want to do previews next?
Yes, because I'm sure people want to know what's 50% off because we got some big books coming out this week.
Yeah, we sure do. Gabe,
right.
you want to pull that up?
Jess, you get the email. Jess, you pull that up.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Riley's going to go check on his wife.
You mean look to the side of him?
Philip Evans. And by the way, if you're joining in, the ladies at Fangirlz Assemble, we haven't mentioned this, are interviewing Mark Waid this Thursday. It's been changed from Wednesday to this Thursday.
I thought it was Tuesday.
No, it's Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh.
Mr. Waid said it's Thursday, so. Mr. Waid.
Yeah, so what does that mean for our show? Our Thursday show.
We are interviewing Mark Waid.
Well, so we're interviewing Mark Waid too?
Yeah, we're just gonna just jump into their chat and take it over. No, we're not.
That's messed
I
up.
guess we get the night off. I guess you guys get the night off. It's cool.
You guys
Or do we have to make that up, you think?
do a Wednesday show? I don't know. So yes, Thursday. Just remember.
Okay, Thursday, the Mark Waid interview.
That's gonna be badass. That's really cool that they got Mark Waid. I'm slightly jealous. All right, so am I going to screen share previews? Is that what's going on?
I'm
All right.
isolating you right now. Okay.
All right, here we go. Check it out. This is a killer week for November 7th when it comes down to graphic novels, hardcovers, omnibus releases. So pay attention, everybody.
Bingo Love, trade paperback, volume 1.
Bullshit.
Jess is going to pick that up.
What?
I
What
don't
even
know.
is that?
That looks like something you would read.
Is that a senior citizens joke? Is that an old man joke? Is that what
No,
that is?
he reads really obscure books that Psycho Cleveland tells him to read.
That is true.
And then he gets to give Psycho Cleveland a shout out on his videos.
Gross.
He's like, so I discovered this book on Image called Big No Love. All right, go ahead, man. Do your
Or
thing.
my love is real from Image. Remember that book?
Oh, yeah,
No?
I do remember that book.
Ugh. All right, so yeah, like Omar said, Bingo Love, which exactly sounds like senior citizens down at the local
Church.
or casino, like the local casinos out in here in town, like Palace Station or Sunset Station. Local Comic Shop Day 2018 Gideon Falls hardcover.
When is local comic shop day?
Next year. Right?
This Saturday?
I'm guessing.
Keep up with these damn holidays.
I don't know. We don't do that kind of like free comic book day, local comic shop, free Halloween stuff at the store. So
What,
I don't
you
keep up with it.
bastards.
All right, and then Norway. Anybody reading this stuff? Do we even know what Gideon Falls is about?
I'm pretty sure it's popular, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
OmniBros, this is where you get all your information about books. This channel. I heard of
At
it.
least about releases. Outpost Zero. That was really popular at my store. That was on a lot of people's list. A lot of people were looking for that book. I have no idea what it's about.
Just based on the covers, I can tell you right now, a year from now, Jess is going to be reading Outpost Zero, Bingo Love, and Street Angel. versus Ninja Tech. Actually, that's a damn cool name.
I actually own the first Street Angel, and I have read it.
Damn,
I love anything that Jim Rugg does. Anything Jim Rugg does. Especially, God damn it. I put me on the spot. I totally forgot the name of that book he did. Aphrodisiac. That's what it is. Anybody remember that book?
Cool.
All right. So moving on. Solid State. Have no idea what that is, but there's a signed hardcover edition coming out this week. And Street Angel versus Ninja Tech hardcover.
Okay.
Moving on to Dark Horse.
Slim pickings there.
Disney stuff. Moving on.
I don't understand the whole Disney thing, man. It is so weird.
Well, see, there's this character called Mickey Mouse that got really popular after doing this cartoon called Steamboat Willie, and there was an entire theme park.
The publication rights.
Oh, okay.
It is all over the place. You got IDW books, you got Fantagraphics, and you got Dark Horse. And meanwhile, Disney, owns Marvel. So
money, man.
It's weird.
They probably make more money licensing that stuff out than they do self-publishing it.
Well, I'm just saying they should have saved the time and left it to Boom when they were still doing it, but I don't know. All right, go ahead. Keep going.
All right. IDW, Back to the Future, the Heavy Collection Trade Paperback Volume 1.
Nope.
Little Orphan Annie. I think Jess used to listen to that on the old time radio shows.
You still have the Dakota Ring.
Sure.
I love old time radio shows. We should make one. We should do our own old time radio show type thing.
You mean a serial? That's what they were called, right?
Sure. There's a Wolverine podcast story out there that's really good. Okay, so Ghostbusters. IDW is obviously the land of licensed comics because everything coming out this week is licensed.
You got the email, right? As Gabe is going through these, can you check? There are people in the chat wanting to know, how much will Gideon Falls hardcover be?
That's not from IDW. That's not from IST. That's going to be in local comic stores.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. And that's why you are the reader of the group.
It's probably full price because it's one of those local comic book day ones.
All right, man. Get to the good stuff.
All right. Good stuff. Like Star Wars Adventures Volume 4.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's a good book. If anybody has kids who is interested in Star Wars or you want to get them kind of interested in reading, I get that a lot in the store. A lot of people come in here and they just want to get their kids to read because they're attached to the phones or whatever the case might be. If they like Star Wars, throw them this. This isn't kiddie, but I think the verbiage and the language and the storylines are very well thought out for elementary school age kids. So that might be a good one to kind of check out for your kids. All right, now on to the good stuff. The biggest release ever is right here happening this week, and that is Absolute Transmetropolitan Volume 3. Do you smell that, Jess? Do you
Smells
smell
like a burger coming my way.
I was about to say it smells like In-N-Out burgers.
Smells like In-N-Out burger that Lou Rodrigue owes me because this is coming out on time.
Yes.
8 months ago that we made this bet.
Hey,
I cannot wait for this.
What's the sale on this at InStock? Because
that is 50% off.
Hell yes.
60 to 50.
$50 or 50% off is a steal on this goddamn book, man. This is great. So this collects the final 20 issues of Warren Ellis, Derek Robertson's masterpiece run that is basically Hunter S. Thompson in the future. I've been waiting for this for a very long time because I think I've said it before. For the longest time, the only thing out there to get if you wanted to read this book was hunting down the back issues or older trade paperbacks. And I was very surprised that they skipped from going to regular size hardcovers directly into an absolute format because this deserves that kind of treatment. So this is the last 20 issues. It's $125. As Jess said, it's 50% off.
That's what's up.
That is what's up. The only thing I'm not a big fan of right now is that they used repurposed Jeff Darrow covers for the cover of the book. I don't know if this is a slipcase, I'm assuming. So I don't know what the inside book looks like. But previously, the previous two volumes had brand new artwork from Derek Robertson. So I'm a little disappointed not to see a brand new cover by Derek. Maybe the inside book is, but typically the outside slipcase matches the inside book covers as well. I'm not complaining that bad. It's not like I'm gonna not buy this book. I'm gonna buy it, put it on my shelf, and then do a complete read through of it again and be super happy and not even care again about the cover. But there you go. So that's the big book for me this week. Coming up is Batman and Robin Bad Blood Essentials trade paperback. These
are essential editions. These are the new thicker trade paperbacks of. Is it New 52 stuff?
This is the New 52 stuff. Yeah.
Shit, and thickers. There's only 1 through 8.
Let me click on it. Maybe there's more. No, it's just 1 through 8. Well, it's thicker than a 6-issue trade paperback.
Damn it, DC! You had one job. You can't be charging people $25 for essential reading. Anyway, go ahead.
All this whiskey is making me sweat. I'm feeling it, dude. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, isn't the Batman and Robin, that omnibus is out of print, right?
You're the one that really went to the comic shop. You should know that.
Let me
you're
check
also
real quick. Yeah,
but see what happens is when I take a picture of the Diamond program saying it's out of print, then some jackass steals that picture and posts it on a different group.
You could claim copyright on it then.
Yeah, well. All right, well, this is really cool, too. Coming up right here is Batman Gates of Gotham Deluxe Edition. This is a great... I have the trade, and I'm really tempted to upgrade to this oversized hardcover because this is a great, great storyline. It's mainly Kyle Higgins doing the writing, but Scott Snyder chipped in a little bit, but since he's the bigger name, I guess he got the top billing. But this is a great book about the history of like Gotham City and like the founding families of Gotham City, like not only just the Waynes, but like the Cobblepots, the Elliots, and those types of families as well. A lot of great stuff in here. So this collects Batman Annual 28 and Detective Comics Annual 12, as well as the Gates of Gotham series. So this is really good. I love this book a lot.
With Batman and Robin is still in print.
Is it? I'm gonna go buy that motherfucker right now.
If I'm not
after I get done with this,
Gates of Gotham, doesn't it have some tie-in to like the owls and stuff? Like it kind of hints at that.
It does. Yep.
So that was like it was the first time that you saw anything related to the Court of Owls prior to the New 52 and stuff.
All right, Batman Sins of the Father. I think this was based on the video game universe, if I remember correctly. And then also we got Crisis on Infinite Earths Companion Deluxe Hardcover Volume 1. Does anybody know what this is?
That's 50% off. That's all the tie-ins to Crisis on Infinite Earths, the main series.
Okay. I'm just saying because it's volume 1, $75. I guess there's going to be another volume that might be just as expensive.
That makes sense because there was a whole host of tie-ins. That's when I first got back into comic collecting, and it was crazy the amount of tie-ins that I had to collect every week. It was like a long box event.
Oh, Jesus. That's typical of these types of events.
But are any of those tie-ins worth reading, though?
Not that I remember, but you know my memory. So
I'm a big fan. I've mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, like, if you're a big fan of Crisis on Infinite Earths, do you think it would be something that you would recommend?
I would recommend it if you're a big fan of Crisis on Infinite Earths because it's one of those things. Although I will say, I believe this is where the phrase "Red Sky." Isn't this where Red Sky came from?
Yeah, the Red Sky was anything that Crisis on Infinite Earths had on the cover, even if it was just the Red Sky. That's how they were marketing. So you are correct.
Yeah.
You were remembering correctly, Jess.
Yay!
We should do a Crisis on Infinite Earths read-through.
I'm down.
Because I have the absolute.
I have the oversized hardcover. I'm not planning on getting this one though. This companion. I'm not really interested in the companion stuff. But I did really love that that event. Not when it came out. I was negative years old.
And did I already say it's 50% off? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you did. Thank you,
Okay.
Jess. Gotham City Garage, trade paperback volume 2. Jess, I'm looking at you
Woohoo!
for any kind of recommendation on this book or
Yeah, I
any
like this
details
book.
whatsoever.
It's
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to finding out, reading more about it. I think it's the same team that did that book that I like so much, and I'm blanking on it.
Bombshells?
No, the one where the girl.
Irredeemable.
You guys.
Oh no! Wait,
It's the Image series where the girl steals the spaceship and
Saga.
Joyride.
Oh, I was close. That was the next one I was going to say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoy this. It's a fun series.
All right, so John Constantine, Hellblazer 30th anniversary hardcover.
When the hell are we gonna get actual hardcovers of that series?
That'd be great.
Can we just get Omnis? Give us like.
But this has an introduction by Sting. They actually got that guy to actually stop wrestling for a moment and do an introduction.
You're an idiot.
I didn't know that guy was such a comic book fan that he was able to do an introduction on Hellblazer. That's cool.
Who they modeled Hellblazer after Sting.
So this is Swamp Thing 37 Hellblazer. This is just random issues. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't
It's
know.
like
These
one
are
of
like
those anniversary collections they've done for all of the characters, like Batman 75th and stuff like that.
sure.
But it's just Hellblazer 30th. So
Does anybody know if any of these issues are significant other than Saga to Swamp Thing 37?
27 is by Neil Gaiman and is really good.
I'd imagine one of those is probably 41 is going to be the beginning of Ennis's run, and 63 is probably still in Ennis's run.
I think 240 is written by Chuck Austin, and I'm totally kidding. By the way,
Chuck Austin.
nobody would put Chuck Austin on a book.
I was like, I
Other
don't
than
think
the X-Men.
Austin wrote
I like
any.
that no one in this group questioned me. Really, guys? Chuck Austin?
I was looking for it.
I was
there.
about to say, because I was like, I don't think he wrote any Hellblazer. What are you
Well,
talking
I was
about?
like, is Chuck Austin British? Because only British people were allowed to write Constantine at first.
Yeah, not
Jason
anymore.
Aaron wrote a couple issues of him, though.
Boo. Oh, so did Brian Azzarello. For a while, it was only like British writers that was working on John Constantine.
Yeah, I think Azzarello might have been the first non-British writer.
Yeah. I think the only Hellblazer I own is that Warren Ellis storyline. That was pretty fucked up. And I have the I forgot what it's called, but it was the first time they ever printed that shoot storyline that Warren Ellis did.
Yeah, in that Vertigo Resurrected little one-shot thing.
That's what it is. Yeah, I had a bunch of like weird like books that were never published before and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. I'm still sweating here. Jesus.
Oh, Justice League Rebirth. You need to get that, Omar.
No,
Justice League Afterbirth.
guess what? Pre-ordered. I'm an idiot.
God. Wait, but is this still?
Brian stuff. This is the final Brian Hitch issue. Actually, if you highlight it, Gabe, it should tell you what it is. You didn't have to click on it. Jesus, I don't want that much.
I did. So we get all the information on.
So
one big
yeah,
screen.
this is the last of his stuff. All right, go back. That's it. Not even worth it. $34.99 for all those completists and OCD people or idiots, much like myself.
The next one is the Chris Priest stuff, and that run was some fun.
Hey, look, it's the movie versions of all the DC characters here.
Why are we still spending time on this damn book? Get out of here, man.
What's the discount on it?
42%.
There you go. Local comic shop day. Brave and the Bold, Batman and Wonder Woman hardcover. It's a pretty dope looking cover, though. I don't know anything about this book because I'm not
Jim Lee.
I'm not a big follower of Liam Sharp.
Liam. That's a Liam Sharp. Damn, that's tight.
Speaking of Liam Sharp, his and Grant Morrison's Green Lantern #1 comes out this week as well.
Yes.
Wow, can't wait to read that.
I'm in there like swimwear.
Isn't like issue 3 Green Lantern meets God or something?
Yeah, even though he
Like
promised
Jesus or somebody like that, right? Yeah.
He was like, it's gonna be grounded procedural space cop shit, and then it's like 3 issues later, Hal Jordan meets God.
Well, if you didn't expect that to happen from a Grant Morrison like DC book, then you're kidding yourself.
Oh no, I knew it was just a matter of like how long is he gonna let it go before he does that.
2 issues apparently.
Grant Morrison, guys. He can do whatever the hell he wants to and like promise things that he's not even gonna do.
Yeah,
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I think we're all okay with
Yeah,
it.
he told me the secret to the universe. So I told you guys that story, right?
Yep.
All right. Mother Panic. Have no idea what that is.
Yes,
I think I ordered 4 copies of that book at the store, and none of them sold. So yeah.
Oh dear, it's very good. I like it a lot.
Jody Hauser, and I forget like what Sean Alexander or did I just name the guy who plays what's his name on Seinfeld?
Which one?
No, that's Jason
Jerry
Alexander.
Seinfeld?
Never
Jason
mind.
Alexander.
Because I was like, wait a second. No, that's Jason Alexander. No, it's Jody Hauser writing, and it's like it's part of the Young Animal line of books, and it's kind of an alternate take on Gotham, a little more violent, and Mother Panic is this new hero that's in there. She's a female hero. She eventually gets a female sidekick, and this is like the final volume of that series.
Hard pass. All right.
Oh no. It's good. It's good.
And then there's the very DC Rebirth holiday sequel trade paperback. Also a hard pass.
That sounds fun.
Jess, are you picking up the Wonder Woman Golden Age? Because some of that stuff hasn't been reprinted in the archives, has it?
No, but I'm starting to get bursting at the seams with these Golden Age archives, and we haven't even started Silver Age. I gotta make some cuts somewhere, and
don't do it, Jess.
Do it, Jess.
Don't do it.
Wonder Woman's
buy what you like, man.
I don't have room for what I like
Buy
anymore.
what we tell you to get, so we can leave vicariously through you.
Buy what Omar likes.
No,
all
just
right,
buy what Geo likes, so you can get all the Aquaman.
But then you're just asking for disappointment.
Dang.
Well, that's a nice cover.
Yeah, because it doesn't match the artwork inside at all.
No, not in the slightest. No, I have to draw the line somewhere.
All right, so moving on to the Marvel section, which has some big releases as well. And one of those big releases is not Ant-Man and Wasp, but we do have Ant-Man and Wasp trade paperback Lost Found.
That's the miniseries that Mark Waid wrote, wrapped up semi-recently.
And then Champions, I think this is... no, I don't know if the volume 4 was Mark Waid or not, but I know he was doing Champions for a little bit.
I think on that one, it might be Jim Zub at this point.
It's Jim Zub. Good job.
Yes. I'm good for something. Now you don't even have to click on stuff.
Here you go. Domino trade paperback volume 1 with this Greg Land art.
By Gail Simone. The inside is not...
I don't think it's Greg Land art.
No, but I'm talking about the cover.
Yes, the cover is Greg Land.
That run's been really fun if you guys haven't read it. I really, really like it. Like, it ties into a lot of her stuff that she was doing with Agent X. So,
yes.
If you like that stuff, her Deadpool run, I definitely suggest picking that up. It's a good read.
1 through 6 and is $17.99. All right, and then here's another. This is a must buy for me. This is going right along with my purchase of Transmet Volume 3, and that is Marvel Knights by Joe Quesada Omnibus.
Hey, is this 50% off, Jess?
It It is. I already looked because I was working at the details earlier today when I was trying to figure out what was going on for this week.
Honestly, I'm surprised that they're only charging $100 for this because Marvel, they could have been charging $125.
So this is the start of Daredevil Volume 2. This is written by Kevin Smith. There's art in here by Joe Quesada, David Mack. It collects.
Quesada.
I'm sorry.
It is mainly Quesada. Like Mac, I think like 4 or 5 issues, if that.
That's 50% off.
Well, this is when what was going on is I'm pretty sure Quesada did the first 9 issues, and then David Mack jumps in and is just aping Joe Quesada for his issues of this book for the most part. He does an exact representation of Quesada's artwork. So this takes place. This is the omnibus right before the hard to find and much sought after Bendis Daredevil omnibus.
Yeah, but there are some orphaned issues after this though.
It's always that freaking Parts of a Whole is like gets no love when it comes down to like
David
Gale.
It's and then the David Mack Echo story, which was like 6 or 7 issues.
Well, there was wasn't there 2 Echo stories that like Mac did one early and then one later, and then there's that random story by Bob Gale, and they're reprinting that for the first time ever, but in a paperback.
I will, honestly, this is a pass for me because I already have volume 1 of. Let's see if you can.
You're not a real omnibus collector, Omar.
Dude, Daredevil Father is like one of the worst fucking Daredevil books I've ever read.
I'm not saying you have to read it.
You're an idiot. That's have to buy it. That's the same kind of logic I use on Jazz, except
I know.
This is a book that I'm definitely buying it, but I'm gonna say it's a book that I definitely feel like I would want to make a custom dust jacket to call it Daredevil, so it'll fit a little bit better on my shelf.
Yeah, this Marvel.
I'm gonna have the spine looks like.
All right, go to the next book that I'm really.
No way, man! This book is awesome. We need to talk about it some more.
Oh my god!
I can't wait.
Garth Ennis Marvel Knights double shot in there.
Oh, is that the one? That's the one that's told from the inside of the mouth of. No, that's that Punisher book.
No, Punisher fool.
All right. No, that was just a great book. I just love that one inside that guy's mouth.
You're right. It is. Can we move on to Mutant Massacre, please?
No.
There's something else before that, right?
There's a lot of stuff before that crappy book.
Yeah,
that crappy book. Wow.
4 books before X-Men.
Like, better books like Marvel Rising trade paperback.
Actually, that looks like a Jess book.
So that
Marvel Rising.
This is the one that leads up to the TV show.
Yes, the cartoon. It's not very good.
It's not very good because it's too kiddie-ish, or is it just?
Yeah, I guess it.
Because from me flipping through this at the store, it looks like just something really fun to just give someone's kid, especially like. I hate to be like, oh, here's a book full of girls, so you should give it to your daughter. Like, girls can read whatever books they want.
But... Massacre. What's happening?
You got about 4 more books ahead of that before we get to that, bro.
I gotta go and make a project with my daughter. I want to talk about Mutant Massacre.
Okay.
Shut up. Go get your daughter Marvel Rising. No, it's Marvel Rising real quick. Like I enjoy Squirrel Girl a lot. I think it's a really fun book. It has that kind of like more kid-looking artwork that you would recommend, and it's a book that I recommend people's kids. Marvel Rising is only a book that I would give your kids. It's not a book that I would recommend for myself or any of you guys or an adult to read. It's not very fun.
Or a smart kid.
I don't know. I wouldn't give it to like Moon Girl or something, but I would give Moon Girl to an adult.
She's not real.
Shut up.
Okay. All right. What's next? What crappy Marvel book before we get to the good stuff?
Marvel Avengers Infinity War hardcover art of movie. That's weird.
No, next.
Yeah. Star Wars Lando, Double or Nothing.
Childish Landino, the comic.
Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars this week, Jesus. Star Wars trade paperback Last Jedi adaptation. Pass. That movie was garbage.
Oh,
And then coming up next is Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica.
You piece of shit. I can't believe this book is only $100. I can't believe I'm saying I can't believe this book is only $100. What the hell?
Look at that! Look at that great artwork on the cover, man. That's some throwback. That's John Romita Jr., right? Yeah.
I can't believe this book exists.
I can't believe we're getting this.
50% off.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, guys, don't forget to vote tomorrow.
So if you get this book, everybody also, me and Omar was talking about this earlier today. You also need to go buy Trial of Gambit.
No, I did not agree with that. I said you don't need to buy the Trial Gambit. That was just you fool.
No, you specifically, Omar, told me was read Mutant Massacre, I guess again for me, and then immediately thereafter go read Trial of Gambit.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
You forgot to add the part where I said, and then you'll find out why some people that write comic books never read comic books.
That's also true. You didn't tell me to buy Trial of Gambit because you know that I already have it because you know we're the same.
Yeah,
we buy everything.
Oh yeah, as soon as an omnibus of Trial of Gambit comes out, you fucking right, I'm gonna buy it.
Oh, yeah. Please let that happen. Oh man,
I'm gonna make Jess buy it.
I gotta. Oh god, that Joe Madera art in full size like that.
What are you? That Joe Madera art.
Oh, I need more alcohol. Actually, let me fill this boy up a little bit more.
This is let's talk about this for a second. So this collects the Uncanny X-Men 210 to 219. Originally, this collected only issues 210 to 213, I believe.
Something like that.
So
What do you mean, the other omnibus that never happened?
The oversized hardcover.
I know.
So I'm excited about this. This fills in that gap that goes right before the Fall of the Mutants. So keep them coming, Marvel.
The only thing it does not have is the New Mutants issues between there, but I'm guessing and I'm hoping that's because of. Let's not even say it. We're just gonna curse ourselves.
It's happening. It's happening.
That GIF.
That New Mutants movie is going to come out, and it's going to be the #1 superhero movie of all time.
It's not coming out, and it's not going to be a hit.
Oh, I smell a bat.
Okay, I'm not going to bet that it's going to be a hit.
No, but you can bet if it's coming out.
Oh, it's going to come out.
We'll make a bet.
Mainstream theaters, not coming straight to pay-per-view.
You pick a charity, Omar. You pick a charity. I pick a charity. Loser pays $50 to that charity.
All right, my charity's name is Omar's Pocket. What's your charity's name?
My charity is Autism Speaks, which is a real charity, Omar.
All right, well, I'm from a third world country, so I was a charitable child at one time, so I get it. All right, and on that high note, guys, I got to get out of here because I got to go help my daughter with this project. So much love to you all. You can find me on my channel, Near Mint Condition. We have a live episode tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where it's old reader, new reader, and we're talking about X-Men God Loves, Man Kills. One of the greatest, if not the greatest X-Men story ever. So good night, everybody. And I'm serious. Don't forget to vote.
Bye, Omar. I love you, buddy.
Well, that was quick. Peace and out.
Later, son. All right. So Battlestar Galactica. Or did we say everything we needed to say on Mutant Massacre, Ryley?
I think so. I think the one big question was someone had asked, like, if I have the hardcover, should I upgrade? And I would say yes, because it has a lot of really, really good material that's also pretty important that goes between that Mutant Massacre oversized hardcover and the Fall of the Mutants really big oversized hardcover.
Okay, well that's always a good topic to kind of to touch on. What's in here that's not in that Mutant Massacre hardcover?
Well, Omar kind of touched on that, but I'll bring up the original, the old one, because I don't have it anymore.
Because you totally sold it in preparation for this, right?
Oh, you're goddamn right.
Good man.
As soon as they announced it, I was like,
just like how you were with the JMS Spider-Man Omnibus.
Yeah, that's still up on my shelf, by the way. I like had a bunch of books. I just pulled them from my shelf that I'm like, I need to sell, but I haven't yet. Okay, so the old one is 210 to 214 of Uncanny X-Men, X Factor 9 through 11, the New Mutants number 46, Thor 373 and 374, Power Pack 27, and Daredevil 238.
So there is a lot of extra in here.
There's way more, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra because you get 210 through, you said 214, so this is 210 through 219. X-Men Annual 11, X Factor. You said 9 through 11. This is 9 through 17. And then Thor.
2 of X Factors in there.
Yeah, and then you also get Thor 377 and 378, so you get a couple extras of Thor. Fantastic Four versus X-Men. Oh man, I could totally get rid of that fucking hardcover too. Then, and then you also get X-Men versus Avengers 1 through 4. So boom.
Yeah, I don't think I read the X-Men versus Event. I might have. Yeah, I think I did, but I know I read the Fantastic Four one. That one was really good. That had a lot of really good stuff.
I read the X-Men versus Fantastic Four because this is a long time ago when I first started reading comics. A friend of mine told me that was the storyline where Wolverine slashes the Thing's face. So I read it, and nothing like that happened because that happened in an actual single issue of Fantastic Four. I think it's 376 or something like that. But I read it in preparation and in hopes of seeing Thing get his face slashed by Wolverine, but it totally never happened. So that's my story on reading that book. Moving on. Battlestar Galactica versus itself. I don't know anything about any of this. I don't know anything about Charmed Magic School. That's apparently a mango.
Tasty.
And further adventures of Red Sonja. That's all good. Boom Studios, Giant Days. I know a lot of people on the board. I think we're pretty excited about this book. Yeah. Jim Henson's Labyrinth gets a hardcover release. There's a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Year 2 blind box.
I don't know what that means. I know the actual hardcover is due out.
So, Jesus Christ. All right. So, we already know that Power Rangers Volume 1 kind of sold out really quick and is kind of a sought-after book. This one is limited to 500 units and is a local comic shop day exclusive. So, if your store didn't order this, they're not going to have it and you're not going to get it.
That's not the hardcover. It has the hardcover, but it has 3 random variants and an exclusive number 30 LCSD variant.
So it's just a box of a box, right?
The blind box includes the book, that the one that's people are going to want, plus 4 variant single issues.
That's kind of cool. I wonder if I ordered any of that. I doubt it.
But the actual just the book on its own, which should retail at $75, not $100, that is coming out in like 1 or 2 weeks from now.
I'm surprised that Volume 2 is coming out and they haven't like reprinted Volume 1.
Yeah,
Boom is pretty good about keeping their stuff out there and fluid. Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown. That's kind of cool.
I have a comic.
Buy it, but it's cool.
There's a comic for Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah. And then this is all the other kind of random books and stuff. We'll just scroll through it as always, and if anybody sees anything they want,
I'm gonna get that Black Clover. I'll be getting Black
Bleach.
I will not be getting Bleach because I don't. That's the box set of the last third of the series. I already have all the volumes, so I won't be needing that.
So let me bring this up now that we're kind of here in like the mango section. Geo, everybody knows. Well, not everybody might not know Geo because he's been MIA for a while, not because of anything other than a hurricane destroying his island. But Geo is very interested in starting a third show on this channel. That's going to be kind of manga and anime centric. So hopefully that is something that he actually does go forward with. I think that would be. I'm not interested in it at all, but I know there's a lot of people out there who would be interested in that. So
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, me too.
Next row, I'm getting that Demon Slayer Devilman Classic. That's a fantastic book. That's the second and final volume of that series. The next row, Dr. Stone and that Dragon Ball, That Time I Was Reincarnated as Yamcha. I'm getting that.
Yamcha? You mean Gohan's real father?
Haikyuu, I'm getting that. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'm getting that.
This Kodoja cover is kind of cool.
That looks neat.
There's another Meta Barons coming out. Techno Cardinal, Transhuman. And volume fucking 88 of One Piece.
Yeah, you fucking know it. I'm getting that.
I'm just saying, no, I mean, I know we all spend crazy amounts of money on these books and everything, but if somebody out there has all 88 volumes and paid full price, that's $880 plus.
Yeah, it's insane. There's an eBay store that only sells, as far as I've seen, full sets for cover price of series like that. So they have like 1 through 87 of One Piece up right now for $870.
And does that actually have some traction behind it?
Honestly, there's got to be someone who's dumb enough.
Hey Jess, I think you and I need to open up a eBay store and selling One Piece complete series.
Oh, I thought you meant I was the fool.
No. I think that there's some money there to be made. And since you and I have no attachment to mangoes, it'll be easy for us to get rid of and sell.
Just discount it by like 10%.
That's what I'm saying.
Beat that one store. So like that store sells it for cover price, but if you just sell it for 10% under, you can undercut them. And those idiots who don't realize that they don't have to spend 800 plus are like, oh, I can get it for like $80 less.
See, there's a market out there for this shit.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go through here. And I think that's it, man. Some big major books this week, though. Everybody, shit, this week is gonna hurt.
Yeah, but the rest of the month, as far as I've seen, there is maybe one more really
Silver
big
Surfer.
book. That's next month.
No, that's this month. That's
That's
November.
this month.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's our review book.
Right.
Yeah.
That-
Finally get something that Gabe is gonna like. Well, you liked the last one, so.
What was the last one?
Letter 44.
No, the last one was Seven Soldiers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Did I'm sorry, I didn't make it on the actual episode. Did everyone enjoy Seven Soldiers?
I did.
Yeah. I think I gave it like an 8.
Okay, because I came on and did it like Luis is gonna come on Thursday and he's supposed to review Guardians, and I did that with Seven Soldiers.
All right, and then I'm gonna stop sharing, and it's back to you guys.
Okie dokie.
Word.
There's some good books, guys.
Man, this is gonna be a hurtful week, bro. I'm glad I sold some stuff and made some transactions recently to kind of take the buffer of all this.
I did the exact opposite and have not sold anything, and I bought way too many books at half price books the other day. So
What'd you get?
nothing that you can.
Oh, okay.
A crate of mangoes.
Yeah,
Sounds like mangoes. Yeah.
I got a box and a half of mangoes. I went farming. I don't, at this point when I go to half price, I don't even look at the comic section because I already have everything that I want as far as like older Western releases. So there's not even the point, because I used to go and I would look at the X-Men books and I'd be like, oh shit, there's that one random Chuck Austin book I don't have. And I'd grab that for like, $5. But now it's like I've already gotten all of those books. So what's the point?
Here's a good question from the chat. Can you read Mutant Massacre on its own, or do you need to read a lot of the other stuff beforehand?
It helps to read the stuff beforehand because Claremont's run on X-Men is really one big kind of drama from when he starts until now, but it's not easy to get all of that stuff because it's
like, what is it?
It's everything, the first 3 Omnibus, and then the material between Omnibus Volume 3 and Mutant Massacre is Ghosts, the paperback X-Men Ghosts,
Ooh.
the Epic Collection, the Gift, and then the I think aside from those two, it's the material that's in Marvel Masterworks Volume 10. So like, Ghost is out of print, and then
Sadly.
I think the Gift is still available, maybe, and then Masterworks should be pretty cheap. But so there's not really a good, easy way to get that. And then I know Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 recently went out of print. Am I correct in that?
I think you are.
So it's not easy to get that material, and you benefit from having it, but because it's not easy, and because whenever I read Mutant Massacre for the first time, I read it cold. I'll say that you can go into it that way. It should, if it's like the hardcover, it should give you a rundown of what just happened with the mutants, so you can kind of understand their mindset, where they have been, what they've been doing. I definitely recommend reading that prologue, that little introduction, and then reading it. But it's a really, really great crossover. Probably, honestly, the best of the X-Men crossovers. And it's the beginning of the big culmination of what Claremont had been doing, going into that, Fall of the Mutants, and then Inferno. I recommend it highly, and you can definitely read it, but it's also going to make you want to read more. That's not the easiest stuff to find.
Okay.
Gabe, you're muted.
All right, so just real quick, I was kind of reviewing the chat. A lot of people were hitting me up in the chat. Sorry, I can't see the chat when I'm doing the previews. But Laneworks, I just wanted to shout him out. He gave us a really cool compliment right now. He said, just wanted to thank you guys for getting me into collected editions. I'm expecting my first omnibus this Friday.
Ooh.
It's Batman by Grant Morrison, which is an excellent choice. You've all reignited my love of comics, especially, he says Jess, especially Jess.
Woo! Touchdown.
It's funny, I'm reviewing the chat, and people are like, "Hey, Gabe, scroll up." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I didn't see that."
Go back up. Go back up.
Yeah, seriously.
No. They think you're just like looking at them and laughing.
I guess, I don't know. But yeah, somebody says Kevin Paul Stason should do a dust jacket for that Marvel Knights Daredevil book, which I think would probably be pretty kick-ass. I can't wait for that, man. I don't know why Omar hates that book, but man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to put that right there in front of my Bendis Omnibus. I'd love that. Volume 2 of Daredevil is nearly perfect all the way through until you get to Shadowland. There's a few issues in there by Bendis that are kind of weird and I don't care about. Like there's that White Tiger like trial like story arc that I remember being just kind of whatever about. But I mean everything from Kevin Smith, David Mack. I think there's a story in there he did about like I don't know if the kid was autistic or not, but he had some kind of difference to him, and is leading all the way up to the Echo and all the Alex Maleev stuff. And that's such a great volume for comics right there.
Omar enjoyed, to an extent, Shadowland. So if you'd like to give him crap about that.
That book, they stopped the big threat. I'll say I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who didn't really read it, but they stopped that big threat by just. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna spoil it. But they stopped the big threat in like the most silly way ever.
I also, though, I had fun with it. Omar and I talked about it, and I thought it definitely read well as a collected comic, but I skipped all of the tie-ins.
Yeah, I didn't read any of that. Like, what was it? Like the Bullseye tie-in, the On the Streets tie-in that had like Moon Knight and like Luke Cage in it. I think stuff like that. Yeah, I read just the Daredevil stuff. And you know what? Honestly, the more I think about it, that was a long time ago. But I want to say I enjoyed Shadowland up until the defeat of the big bad, and then I was like, this is fucking stupid, and just ruined the whole story for me. But yeah. So what do you guys want to do now? You want to take it to the chat for a moment, answer some questions from all of our good friends in the chat, or what?
I've got about 5 minutes left in me, so I can do that. Before we do that, let me remember to talk about InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Orders over $50 in the United States get you free shipping. Fabulous service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Here's a question real quick. It's directed towards me, but Chris Davis asks, if you're only going to buy one omnibus, would it be Marvel Knights or Mutant Massacre? I would 100% do Marvel Knights and wait on Mutant Massacre a little bit.
I am in the. I think it's real obvious. I'm in the other camp.
It really. I mean, it depends. I mean, I don't know what Chris Davis's taste is like. If you're an X-Men person, get the Mutant Massacre. If you're not an X-Men person, then Marvel Knights. But I don't think either of those is really going to sell out immediately. So I think there might be some time to pick one or the other and be able to get both down the line.
Yeah, I love Daredevil, but you're right. Like, it's because I'm a bigger X-Men fan in general, and because I talked a little bit ago. Obviously, I really love that story.
No,
so
I'm the same way. Opposite though. I really love that story. Like that whole thing. Like there was a part in Daredevil Netflix show season 3 where I thought they were going to reenact like the bullseye scene. And I was like, holy shit, they're really going to do this, but they didn't. But I was really hoping. I was like, oh, and I really wanted to go back and like flip through my. I have just like a premium hardcover size for that Guardian Devil stuff. But I love that storyline so much, dude.
I haven't read any of it. I have not read anything pre-Bendis, and I had been wanting to get the oversized hardcovers for a while. And then when they announced this, I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to. Because
I was looking for the oversized hardcover because there's 2 different versions of Volume 1. There's one that includes like an extra issue or 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to mention. I was worried about having to track down the right one, which I knew would be a pain in the butt.
I think that is Kevin Smith's best. No, wait. I'll say my favorite Kevin Smith comic book work. It's not saying a lot because I don't think a lot of his comic book work is that great. But this Daredevil one's fantastic, and his Green Arrow was fantastic. Outside of that, the rest of his stuff is kind of blah.
Have y'all read his what was it, Green Hornet that he did for a little while?
The one where it was a female Kato, if I remember correctly. Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't know anything about it. I just know that he was doing for a good amount of time. He did the Green Hornet, and then I think like Matt Wagner took over or something.
Yeah, he did Green Hornet. I know he did. Was it the $6 Million Man? He did a lot of just like a lot of his comics were like movie scripts that just never got picked up, and he just moved it over to comics. It seemed like. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, you know, make that money work wherever you can. But all right, guys. So throw some questions. Jess has a couple minutes before it's Betty Bye time for him. So also, Jess will be out here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's coming up.
In Vegas. Yeah, I can't wait. I told you I was out getting some real ramen, and you're like, "Oh, take me there."
Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah, it's one of those places. It's in like this a small kind of almost hidden area in our Chinatown district that has like 4 or 5 tables and like a bar, not like a alcohol bar, but like the bar that you kind of sit at and eat.
Yeah.
And there's always a line. I mean, it's not that long of a line. I mean, I think my wife and I waited maybe 10 minutes for a table today. but that place is just super popular because it's amazing. I can't wait to take you there.
Woohoo! I am excited to go.
I hope it's a nice cold day when we go, because there's nothing better than like that hot ramen on like a cold, like kind of rainy, drizzly day.
Yeah,
and we can hold hands and talk about comics.
Oh my god!
I feel like almost every day that Gabe, you post something and Jess is like, "Oh, we have to go there." Also, Gabe, was it you today that said? Because I talked about I just had ramen. I made ramen and I put Spam in it, and you were like, "I love Spam." Was that
That
you?
was me.
That was Jess.
Oh, that was Jess. Ah, a man after my heart.
I love Spam.
Being in Hawaii, I obviously like ordered a few dishes.
Yeah, it's worship there, isn't it?
They know what they're doing with the stuff, man. But I fried some up and tossed it in my ramen the other day, and it was really good. I've had some Korean food, like they made stir fry, basically stir fry with Spam chunks in it. And it was really, really good. It has the right kind of saltiness that goes well with, you know, how salty soy sauce and stuff is as well. So it matches kind of that level. I used to be of the persuasion of like, Spam, but it's like I've never had it, and it's just the idea of potted meat is disgusting. But it's like, I mean, the amount of disgusting shit that I put in my body every single day, including the giant bag of Tootsie Pops and stuff. Like, I don't,
terrible.
I don't think this is going to be any worse.
I'll eat a bag of Spam before you eat a bag of fucking Tootsie Rolls.
Let's do it, man.
No, I'm good. Everyone's saying that they like. Do you like Korean barbecue there, Jess?
I do. Yeah, there's a couple of towns over called Annandale that is just highly populated with Korean barbecue restaurants. So that's where we usually go.
Okay. There's some good places out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we're gonna do more eating at random places than we are almost anything else.
That sounds great. I'm totally up for it.
I feel like that's what we did, and it was pretty.
It
good.
is, yeah. That's exactly what Ryley and I did.
But one thing you guys did, we're not gonna be able to do, is get haircuts together.
Oh. You don't want someone to polish your dome?
I must have to polish my dome, but that might happen at a strip club.
Oh no!
Right on, man. Ryley, how many books do you think they'll make of the Perez and Wolfman Titans omnibuses? There's supposed to be 4 of those or 5?
This 4 is coming out or just got solicited, I think.
Yeah, 4th was solicited. It's going to go for a while longer than that. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it got close to a dozen books.
A dozen books?
It's not strictly going to be Wolfman and Perez, because Perez leaves, and I'm thinking if they if they continue on and go into like a bunch of the 90s, because it wound up spinning off into like 3 different titles or something. If they keep going into that stuff, then it could definitely go up to like a dozen books. If they don't, and it's just like a certain era that they're going after, then it might be, 8 or something. But they're making them pretty thin is the thing to keep in mind. They're not like the Jeff Johns Titans is like almost twice as big as one of them.
I remember I almost feel bad for the people who bought the original Teen Titans omnibuses when they were coming out.
Yeah,
because those are kind of obsolete now. Because there's a lot of material like in the current omnibuses that weren't in like the first 3 that are out now. But yeah. I really wanted those omnibuses because I didn't think they were ever going to do anything different with them because they were already out and whatnot. And I was getting really close. I came across a couple copies of Hickman's Fantastic Four Volume 1. And I was getting really close to trading somebody one of those copies for, I think it was like the first Teen Titans omnibus. I think that one was really out of print, hard to find at the time. I'm glad I didn't because, these new ones came out and the new ones are are better material. I like the covers better on the original ones, but I think these current ones have way better material and a lot more, bang for your buck in it now.
Yeah, the old ones, they skipped anything that was not Wolfman and Perez, which in some cases, if you have character-centric omnis like those, you can skip material that's not by that writer. But the problem is they skipped stuff that was by Wolfman, but with a different artist. And so it caused issues with the narrative. So I had bought the original volume 1 and I read it and I enjoyed it. And then I looked into the next one, and I'm glad that I did my research on like Wikipedia and Amazon and stuff. And people were like, it's missing material. And then volume 3 was like a huge gap of material was missing, not just like an issue or two. So I was like, well, that sucks. And I sold the first one, but I sold it when it was just starting to go out of print. So I only sold it for like $80 to someone who is now in the group, but this was like years before I made the group.
Yeah, I took those Fantastic Four Hickman and just sold them on eBay for stupid money. And they're going for even more stupider money now, which is insane. But
people be crazy.
Hey man, people buy what they, you got to get what you want somehow. Hey Jess, somebody asked earlier, I don't know, I think you might be the only one who can speak on this, but are there any Golden Age omnibuses that are good?
Not to the modern reader. So somebody my age, they're cool, but I wouldn't recommend any of the Golden Age to anybody your guys' age. You guys would find it dry as toast. Although it is cool, the first Batman where somebody gets stabbed and Batman shoots a guy and Batman's killing people, and some of the first Superman, he's like throwing them off cliffs and stuff, and there's no real moral code. So those are cool to see, but dialogue wise and story wise, I think you guys have been exposed to too much sophisticated stuff now to appreciate, or not appreciate, but to enjoy the Golden Age. I just think it's too archaic for you guys at this point. I can look at it because I remember reading it as a kid in those DC 100-page super spectacular books, and I remember enjoying it. So it's more of a nostalgia trip for me. But I think anybody your age would probably just not dig it at all.
Do you actually read those omnibuses, or you kind of just flip through them? The Golden Age ones.
Yeah, I read them. I read those and the Silver Age ones. I burned through the Silver Age Supergirl and Legion of Superheroes. Those are my favorites. I love those two series because those remind me exactly of being 9 years old. Golden Age is more when I was a teenager and they started doing reprints in DC, like in the Bronze Age, or like right around then, the Bronze Age.
So Mike Lombardo asks, when Uncanny X-Men Volume 4 comes out, do you think future omnibuses will forego the straight numbering in favor of storylines with crossovers instead, Ryley?
Sorry, I'm gonna be right back. I'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Leighton Watson, I think I can answer for Ryley. I believe he has read Avengers Arena, and I believe he loved it. Because I'm pretty sure he or somebody similar to him recommended it to me. It's supposed to be awesome.
Him or somebody similar to him. So, Jess, I hope you're ready for comic book stores, record stores. I think we talked about strip clubs.
I think we did.
Or the one strip club, because you said it. Yeah, that's the one that doesn't serve alcohol.
That's cool. I can go to any of them.
Right.
I will be armored up against alcohol, so I'm happy to go to the highest class, classiest joint possible.
Which means we're going to find the sleaziest, like least classiest joint, because those are the more fun ones.
No.
I've been to the one you were talking about that doesn't serve alcohol, Little Darlings. It's it doesn't serve alcohol, but it's very BYOB.
Yeah, everybody brings their own.
Yeah, you can totally sneak in. Like I've been there with people who not snuck in, but walked in with cases and they didn't care.
Yeah, I
So,
bet
it's one of those
it
kinds
has
of
to be
places.
like that.
So we're gonna see about, I don't know, definitely that ramen place we were talking about.
Yes.
Roberto's. We talked about Roberto's. We want some really fun Mexican food.
Okay.
What else? I was thinking about this donut place, but I might pass on that because I kind of want to stay away from sugar nonsense.
Okay.
But if you're in the mood for sugar nonsense, we go to this donut place called Pink Box.
Pink Box. That sounds fun.
Yeah, they have like crazy like concoctions. Like there's one called the Elvis, and it's like a peanut butter and banana maple bar.
Ooh, that actually sounds good to me.
Yeah. What else? So we're definitely going to do the signing. Oh, we got Penn and Teller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got the Penn and Teller tickets on standby apparently, so we'll do that. The signings on Sunday with Adam Hughes and J. Scott Campbell. We'll try to find some pizza places to hit up.
Okay.
There's one out here called Giordano that's supposed to be like a really good Chicago deep dish pizza.
Okay.
And then there's a place out here that's ran by Evel Knievel's son that's supposed to be like the best representation of New York pizza.
Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds like what I want.
Oh, we're going to do In-N-Out.
Yep.
Capriati's, which is a sandwich place. They have that Thanksgiving sandwich that I took Omar to, and he loved it. So we got the comic book store. There's this one plaza right by my house that is a comic book store. That's a really good place to find like out of print hardcovers and stuff like that. Last time I was in there, they had, you might not care, but I know Trigonosis, the other Gabe, is a big fan and highly recommends Sam and Twitch. They had both those hardcovers there.
Oh yeah, he is big on that.
Yeah. So that shopping center has that comic book store. They have a Capriati's. They have an In-N-Out. Oh, and then across the street from there is like my favorite breakfast diner.
Oh.
So this is all like local places that you won't find back home.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. That's the way I like to do it. I don't like to go, like, if I was to visit you, like, don't take me to Denny's and shit like that.
No.
Know? Like, take me to, like, only places that I could find out there and, like,
yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, other than Starbucks, we might hit up a Starbucks or two.
Well, that's fine with me. I'm going to need the fuel. Let's see. Somebody asked a question. What are you guys reviewing next? Are we reviewing Cable X?
Is it Cable? Yeah, I think Cable Soldier X or whatever is the next
Cable
one.
Soldier X?
Yeah, I passed on that. Just because, like, I'd rather read some of my back stock, and it takes a lot of time for me to read something, and I'd rather focus that time on something I want to read than something that's I don't know I'm gonna like or not. Like the time I spent reading Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd rather read like any number of things back here that I haven't read yet or I would like to read again.
Mm-hmm. I just got a message from my better half, and we've hit the 2-hour mark, and my presence is being requested upstairs.
All right, so everybody, you can where can they find you, Jess?
You can find me on YouTube on Omnidog's Vault.
Wow, has it really been 2 hours? Yeah, find me on Instagram, Gabe Infinity Watch. Find Omnibroslive on Instagram as well. And you can find me here on the Omnibus Collectors Network Sundays and Mondays. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for showing up. And we have 57 watching now. I'm sure it was higher earlier, but big thanks to everybody. And please subscribe, thumbs up the episode, and don't forget the Fangirlz have the one and only legendary Mark Waid on Thursday for an interview.
Right. That's going to be boss.
And they made it a point that that interview will be strictly about his comic book work. So
Nothing
there you go.
controversial.
Nothing outside his comic book work. So there you go.
Okay, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Have a good night, everybody. Smoke crack and worship Satan.